kind of, as a media guy, that's kind of where I like to kind of get in. It's more saying like, your results are going to be your results. And so less to name names, because I do have to sort of protect some of that, some of that stuff. But we get into particular stories around, particularly like in cybersecurity, where I was literally just coming across this the other day, where I was looking at Sentinel-1, for example, and they had, it was Sentinel-1 versus Palo Alto, I think, and maybe CrowdStrike. So these three were dueling, and it was so great because they all were in it, right? They were all fighting this fight within organically searchable content, right? You could go out and search any one of these guys and see kind of how they were playing out. And so in terms of like what Infuse does, and what we enable our clients to do, and what we see is to write that content, right? To help to create that content. And then sometimes what we'll also do is, when they're really uncomfortable, they really just don't want their competitors to know that they're going after them, they'll actually host it on our domain, and then that's made intentionally sort of out in an outbound way. We will push that content out to their target customers, or the customers of their competitive their competitor target. So to your question specifically, I'm not going to answer that.
But you clock it. Once you've heard it a few times, you start to clock it and you start to notice a trend.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely exists.
It does definitely exist. And it's not really optional anymore. It's like to say, oh, well, I'm